In the heart of Lagos, where the rhythm of life pulsed like a vibrant drumbeat, lived a young boy named Chris. His laughter, a melodic chime, echoed through the vibrant streets, a joyful counterpoint to the city's cacophony. Chris, with eyes the color of the lagoon at dawn, was a beacon of light in their small apartment. His parents, hardworking folks who toiled from sunrise to sunset in the bustling markets, cherished his smile, his infectious enthusiasm for life. Life, however, rarely moved in a straight line. The demands of the market were relentless, leaving little time for anything beyond the daily grind. And so, Chris was often left in the care of their neighbor, Auntie Mago, a woman whose smile could melt the hardest of hearts. Auntie Mago, with her hair wrapped in a vibrant gele and the sweet aroma of her jollof rice wafting from her kitchen, was a fixture in the neighborhood. The children of the street flocked to her, eager for her stories of Anansi the spider, his cunning and wit a source of endless fascination. Auntie Mago's hut, a small, mud-walled structure nestled amidst a vibrant tangle of bougainvillea, always held a certain allure for Chris. The air within was thick with the scent of spices and the faint aroma of palm wine. Auntie Mago, with her gentle voice and soothing manner, would often regale him with tales of the Yoruba gods, of Eshu the trickster and Oshun the goddess of love and rivers. Chris, captivated by her stories and the warmth of her presence, would often spend hours lost in her world of myths and legends. But the stories soon took a darker turn. The playful banter gave way to whispers, the sweet aroma of spices replaced by a strange, unsettling scent. Auntie Mago, her eyes gleaming with a disturbing intensity, would touch him in ways that made him feel uncomfortable, a creeping dread settling in his stomach. Chris, confused and frightened, didn't understand what was happening. A strange sadness, a hollowness in his chest, began to consume him. He tried to confide in his parents, his words tumbling out in a rush, "Mama, Papa, I don't feel good." But their responses were always the same. "Don't worry your head with such things, Chris," his father would say, his brow furrowed with worry lines. "You have school tomorrow, focus on your studies." His mother, her hands calloused from years of market work, would often dismiss his concerns. "It's just a phase, child. You'll grow out of it." The shadow grew deeper, creeping into every corner of Chris's life. His laughter, once a constant, faded, replaced by a quiet sadness that clung to him like the morning mist. He lost his appetite, the vibrant colors of his world replaced by a dull, monotonous gray. He withdrew from his friends, the joyful shouts of their games a painful reminder of the joy he had lost. His schoolwork began to suffer. He couldn't concentrate, his mind constantly replaying the events that had unfolded in Auntie Mago's hut. He would stare out the window, lost in a haze of confusion and fear, the vibrant sights and sounds of the city fading into a distant hum. He felt dirty, broken, unworthy of trust. One day, a new teacher arrived at school, Mrs. Anichi. Mrs. Anichi, with eyes that held the wisdom of the elders and the gentleness of the morning dew, was a breath of fresh air. She noticed the change in Chris, the sadness that clung to him like the morning mist. She spent extra time with him after school, patiently listening to his hesitant whispers, her voice a soothing balm to his troubled soul. At first, Chris was reluctant to open up. The shame and fear held him captive, a heavy weight on his chest. He felt dirty, broken, unworthy of trust. But Mrs. Anichi, with her unwavering patience and understanding, gently coerced the truth from him. As Chris, through tears and trembling hands, recounted the horrors he had endured, Mrs. Anichi's heart shattered. Anger surged through her, a righteous fury that ignited a fire within her. She knew she couldn't let this injustice go unpunished. She reported the abuse to the authorities, the words catching in her throat, the weight of the responsibility heavy on her shoulders. The case was investigated, the evidence gathered. Auntie Mago, her face a mask of innocence, vehemently denied the accusations. Lies, all lies, she cried, her voice shrill with indignation. This child is making things up. I have always been kind to him. But Chris, with Mrs. Anichi by his side, stood tall, his voice trembling but firm. He recounted the abuse, each word a testament to his courage. The children of the neighborhood, initially hesitant to believe the accusations against a beloved member of their community, were slowly convinced by Chris's unwavering testimony. The weight of the evidence, coupled with the growing unease within the community, finally broke through the wall of denial. The trial was a tumultuous affair, filled with whispers and hushed conversations. The community, once blind to the suffering of a child, was forced to confront the darkness that had lurked within their midst. The verdict, when it came, was swift and severe. Auntie Mago, her mask of innocence crumbling, was found guilty and sentenced to prison. The community, shaken to their core, was forced to confront the darkness that had lurked within their midst. They began to question their own complacency, their own failure to see the suffering that had unfolded before their very eyes. Whispers of guilt and shame circulated through the neighborhood, a somber reminder of the impact of their collective silence. Chris, though scarred by the trauma, began to heal. His parents, finally awakened from their obliviousness, showered him with love and attention. They spent more time with him, listening to his stories, playing with him, and simply being there for him. Guilt gnawed at them, but they vowed to make amends, to cherish every moment with their son. They began to spend more time together as a family, enjoying simple pleasures like evening walks along the beach, sharing stories and laughter around the dinner table. Chris's father, a skilled carpenter, began to spend more time with his son, teaching him the art of woodworking, the feel of the wood beneath his hands, the satisfaction of creating something beautiful. His mother, her hands calloused from years of market work, began to teach him how to cook, the vibrant colors of the spices, the fragrant aroma of the food, a comforting reminder of the joy of shared experiences. Mrs. Anichi, his beacon of hope, remained a constant presence in his life. She helped him navigate the emotional turmoil, offering him a safe space to process his trauma. She encouraged him to express his feelings through art, his vibrant paintings a reflection of the emotions that had been bottled up within him. She taught him about self-worth, about the importance of speaking out against injustice, and about the strength that lies within. The shadow that had crept into Chris's life began to fade, replaced by the warmth of love and the light of hope. He learned to trust again, to laugh again, to embrace the joy of childhood. The laughter, once muted, returned, echoing through the streets, a testament to his resilience. The community, forever changed by the events, began to stronger, more compassionate community. They organized workshops on child protection, educating parents and caregivers about the signs of abuse and the importance of open communication with children. They established a support group for children who had experienced trauma, providing a safe and supportive environment for healing and recovery. And though the scars remained, Chris carried them with a newfound strength. He knew that he was not alone, that he had survived, and that the shadow could no longer consume him. He carried the lessons learned, the courage he had found, and the hope that a brighter future awaited him. He became an advocate for children's rights, his voice a powerful reminder of the importance of protecting the innocence of the next generation. The end. Please subscribe to my channel to be the first to watch our latest